Hello everyone, welcome to another creative clip from my creative clip collection. Today I thought I'd talk about sketchbooks and what I do with them. When I say what I do with them, I don't just sketch in them, you know. When you think of sketchbooks you think, oh, they've got to be perfect pencil drawings, pen and wash drawings, paintings in there, all nice and neat and pretty boring actually. So one thing I find is a really great sketchbook is a really interesting sketchbook. You know, people want to look at it and dive back into it, and so do I. You know, I've got loads and loads, and so I started off by just sticking things in, whatever interested me. If I did a painting and I didn't particularly like it, but there was one area that really was good, I'd rip it out, stick that in. I'd stick leaves in. I'll show you anyway. So the type of sketchbooks I use are mainly Caddy sketchbooks. That's Khadi, available online in different paper thicknesses and textures. Some books called a fat book are about this thick, which I'll show you, and then there's some thinner ones, and they're not really expensive. And then I've got some hardback books that I probably take with me if I am doing kind of normal sketching or colour swatches when I'm out and about. But mainly I work from them in the studio. If you've got, if you feel like doing a painting and you sit there thinking, what shall I paint, what shall I paint? This is when I use my sketchbooks. I start dabbling with a few colours and a few texture making mediums, and then ideas progress from that. And that's how I come to plan whatever I'm doing in my workshops, you know, because it really excites me and inspires me to take what I've done a little bit further. So I'll just show you some of the sketchbooks I use. So this is called an Indigo Artway sketchbook. It's still handmade paper, and there's all various sizes, and this is a nice landscape one. And I try out colours, I do a bit of seascapes, I think that one's got some masking tape on there. Sometimes do a pretty normal thing in that, lovely paper. And then I've got a smaller one as well. Nice that they've got the elastic round to keep your work. Another nice thing to do, look, I've got some crackle paste there, I've not worked back into that yet. If I mix up anything like I've just been talking about gold bronzing powders and using those, I'll finish off in here with them, you know, rather than throw them away. I'll do some more experimenting, and these are just texture making things. They don't mean anything to anybody, but they do me, you know, and I enjoy doing them. That's a fairly new one, and I take that out and about with me. So now this is a Caddy fat book. Fantastic, look at that. That makes you want to do something, doesn't it? Just holding the book, you know, just that book itself is so chunky and lovely. I love books and pens and paper and all sorts. This is another Caddy one. It is slightly thinner book, but I've stuck so many things in it that it's thick. Like I did that quickly, that snowdrop. I've got half a poppy here. Just playing around. That's leaf in texture medium. That's just some colours I tried. That's a bit of a tree. I think that went on to develop into a workshop. Just ideas. Just that's cling film, crackle paste in a flower, bit of a scene there. And then I love that, you know, it's not anything, but it was a shame to throw it away, so I kind of stuck it in my book, because I might go think, oh, what were those colours, you know, and I can go back and have a look and do something similar, probably make a proper painting out of it. That's when I was trying dragonfly, dandelion, and then just something out of brown paper stuck in, all sorts of ideas. That went on to develop into a full painting. That was some bluebells, just lovely spring summer colours. That's some gold on brown paper. I fancied working on brown paper for a change, tried it, you know, some of it worked. what I didn't use I stuck in here just to remind me about things. So look at that gorgeous pink, you know, it's such a lovely thing to do and an interesting thing. So that's one of them, and then I've got this other one here. I can't remember what's in this one, it's that long since I looked at it. Oh wow, look here, there's all these textures. I use scrim and all sorts of stuff there. And then I worked on an orangey coloured paper there and tried different things. I might develop that. Used crunched up tissue paper there, just white ink on a grey paper. All, you know, practicing and trying out different ideas for workshops for me to show you how to do things. That was a stencil actually, and I loved it. It reminds me of a giraffe or some seed head patterns. And then I was trying different greens, and I made a note of what colours they were, you know, what colours the green were and what make they were, which is a very handy thing to have. That was like, you know, a pond, a lake with the sun on it, and it just I think I did that on location and on loose sheets of paper and came home and stuck them in. Same with that. That developed into a full-blown painting, and that did. So it's a good way, that did too, of trying out various ideas you might have. Like, I'll stick photographs in. I've even got recipes in some, which sounds a bit ridiculous, but anyway, there's some lovely blues and some more photographs that need sticking in. And I think this one, yeah, I've shown you that one. Anyway, I've got one with it's this one. I use purely as a colour index, and whatever colours I mix up, you know, when I'm doing a painting, I think, now will they work together? And so what I do is make a note of them, mask off the page, and whatever colours I've mixed up, do a mini painting, you know. And look at those gorgeous colours. So I think, oh gosh, what did I use there? Let me have a look. So page number 2, what was it? Lunar Blue, Daniel Smith, Quinacridone Violet, Daniel Smith, and Aussie Red Gold. And now looking through these, I think, oh, I want to do something with them again now. And you know, colours you wouldn't even think of. Use it as an experimental book. Just to, if you're at a loose end, and I know it will whet your appetite to take things further. It does me anyway, you know. Some of the colours work, some don't. But some, it's amazing what you can put together. And that's got some gold bronzing powder. And look at that, I love that one, number 24. What was that? I've no idea. Unless you make a note of it, you don't know. So page 24 is Nickel Azo Yellow, Daniel Smith, Lunar Black, Daniel Smith, and Naphthamide Maroon, Daniel Smith. How gorgeous is that? That's a, you know, a winter's evening with the, you know, a moon, and that green there, what's that? That's Intense Violet by the SAA, Leaf Green by Shinhan, and Indigo by Shinhan. You know, and so it goes on. So I've got several books of those that are full up, and I've even got, this is another fat book but smaller, and the same in there, look. Same colour, you know, experimentations, and I've got books on textures, purely St Ives book. When I go to St Ives, I've got several of those I've made with just those St Ives ideas in, and so, you know, have a go. In my latest book, I think it's in this one, we talk about sketchbooks, and yeah, here we are showing you some of the sketchbooks and how I do it, and I kind of mask off a bit around the edge and create something, you know, something worthwhile keeping. And also I'm not too worried about spoiling. You know, I'm not too worried about spoiling it, because it's all part of experimenting, and I think we put too much pressure on ourselves that everything has to be perfect, and these certainly aren't, but they're interesting.